Mother, man.
Hey, this is Howard Unruh, and when I'm loading up my fucking pistol, I'm listening to Murder, Metal, Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder, Metal, Mayhem!
Well, shit, yeah.
Oh, what the fuck's going on?
Hey, Howard Unruh coming back from the grave, do a little promo for us. That was nice of him. Here in Horns Eye Studios on a Tuesday. In the Horns Eye Podcast Network doing episode 170,
170,
Chris.
baby.
Jesus.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Joey, Chris, how's everybody doing?
Not bad.
Little springtime weather here
Yeah,
today.
it's been pretty nice. I'm freaking out. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not drinking any beer.
Oh my gosh. Is that like water or is that grain alcohol?
No, that's water.
You doing like Mr. Leahy with the vodka and the water
yeah,
buzz?
that's what's going on.
Wow,
No, it's
water.
just water.
Good for you. Fuck yeah. So,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
it's
fucking
last
cut
week
down for a
single
minute.
digits and snow. This week it's in the fucking 60s. So
Yep.
craziness. All right. What shirts we got on, Chris? What you doing over there?
Got a Murder Machine clothing shirt with the
Fuck
fucking
yeah,
goat head and the
Jason.
skulls. Fucking dope as shit.
He's got some really cool stuff, man. Murder Machine clothing.
Oh, yeah, he
Definitely
does.
dig it. Joey, what about you?
I got the Gutter Christ Al Capone shirt. I wore the Gutter Christ because his company's out of New Jersey, and he's New Jersey as fuck.
Nice.
So doing the Howard Unruh fucking episode, I had to fucking support him.
You got your Boston hat on.
I do, because I
Baseball's
don't want to
a
be
mess.
too New Jersey.
Right. Okay.
So
All
I
right.
got to fucking balance it out.
Yeah,
a
I
little.
mean, anybody from the East Coast, Jersey's like a scourge.
Yeah.
So everybody makes fun of Jersey, but if you live in Jersey, you will fight over that shit.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
So our New Jersey listeners, not picking on you, but obviously I'm from Connecticut. Joey, you're from Connecticut, so you have that whole tri-state thing with New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. All right, and then I am supporting Mortal Vision. I got their T-shirt on. Those guys are from the Ukraine thrash band. I bought this shirt from them only a month ago.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I got it because
Yeah, no
holy
shit.
shit, fucking
There's
war
shit
going on
going
over
down.
there. Hopefully, those guys are safe. But really digging on Mortal Vision, and it's cool. I shared the post I put about them on our page to the Decapitated page, and it blew up with people liking it and commenting.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really cool. So that's awesome. Somebody mentioned a black metal band from the Ukraine called 1914 or 1914.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't have a chance to check them out yet, but not really a black metal fan, but as we'll talk about in metal, I've had a slight awakening on that subject, so we'll talk about it. How about the new Dahmer mask, guys? That's number 8 of Sick Rick masks in here.
Yeah,
but
it's fucking awesome, man.
he is
fucking
in
like
Horns
Dahmer.
High, looking good, looking so realistic, next to old H.H. Holmes and Geen
You
and
see
Ramirez.
Did you see the real skin tone Holmes he did?
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
That
too.
was really cool, yeah.
I like the sepia one, but
Yeah, me too. But
But
I
that was
like
cool.
all his stuff.
Yeah,
Rick
oh,
is
yeah.
just amazing.
yeah,
but
this
the new
Dahmer one though, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's so cool. So it's definitely a shrine to Sick Rick in
No
here.
shit,
so
dude. Fuck.
it all started with the Venom black metal mask and then just went crazy every time. So the only true crime one we don't have is the Manson one. As we've all three talked, not really thinking Manson's much of a true crime other than the whole
Right.
Manson family thing,
Right,
which
right.
we did that bonus Patreon episode. Now, last week, guys, holy shit, this episode blew it the fuck up. Dr. Death, Christopher Dunch, who would have figured, man, a fucking neurosurgeon gone crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Just killed it with the listens. We had we almost broke the record for the number of listens in 24 hours, which is
Nice.
888. It was like 840.
God damn.
Very impressive with that, over 1,000 now, so that's great. We had our buddy Tex on. I was giving him some shit about it. I said, the episode does so well with him on there because we've got that Tex appeal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He said it was Joey's belt buckle.
It had to be the belt buckle.
So
I think it's them text messages.
text messages. So Jenny, my wife, was on talking about her crazy surgery situation, and so I thought it was a good episode, man.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it also appealed to another niche of people who work in healthcare and stuff.
Right.
So that's cool because maybe that's, another sect of people that are
Sure.
like,
I mean, a lot of people watch that docuseries.
Right.
Very, very, it's a thing. So
It's a
that
thing.
doesn't hurt. Hey, it doesn't hurt. So, I mean, 33 patients either died or were permanently disabled is definitely worthy of a true crime segment. So we
Definitely.
did that.
including making his best friend a quadriplegic.
Yeah, I mean,
God damn,
decapitating his best friend. That's fucked up. Chris, you had the horns. Did your
yeah.
feature on Ugly Kid Joe?
I love Ugly Kid Joe.
Fuck
Yeah, dude. I had a few listeners say the same thing, that was a really cool, just mixing it up, doing something different,
Hell yeah,
which
that's
is
so
cool. We did some Mayhem. Speaking of Mayhem, boys, I got a good one for tonight.
Oh,
sweet.
yeah.
Got a good one. One I totally forgot about, but it's definitely worthy. A good story called 350 Big Block. That's all I'm going to say.
Alrighty then.
New Killer Cage match we did, a karaoke, all of it, 169. So go check it out if you haven't already. And if you did, thank you.
Fuck yeah.
Appreciate it. Now, tonight, guys, we got a good one. Chris, you came up with this gruesome-ass fucking story, man.
Hell yeah, fucking Howard Unruh. Like, it just had enough of people fucking.
Just sick of it,
Just
man.
sick of people fucking not letting him just do his thing. And
Yeah,
he just flipped.
1949, though. Like,
Yeah.
you don't expect that kind of shit to happen, but the whole walk of death, a little 13-minute stroll with a pistol, shot and killed 13 or 12 minutes, 13. Maybe I've got the numbers wrong. Anyway, we'll get to it. He killed 2 kids, too, in the process.
Like,
Fucked
just
up.
fucking point blankly didn't give a
Just
shit.
blowing people away. Some people he didn't like very much. Neighbors that he had. Some,
Motherfuckers want to talk shit behind his
That's
back.
right.
Right, that's what it is.
right, saying shit, This is before Facebook and
Right,
fucking internet warriors, right? Howard Unruh going old school to
Yeah.
settle the score. So the walk of death is on the table tonight. It's going to be wicked. Good suggestion for sure,
Hell
Chris.
yeah.
Joey, you got the horns tonight. What are you going to be bringing in the metal segment?
Usually I've been doing all these Illinois bands, but I had to switch
Right.
it up, which I said I was going to. I'm going to come back to Illinois here soon, but tonight I'm going out to fucking Los Angeles, California, South Central, and we're going to do fucking Body Count.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I don't know anything about them other than Ice-T is in the band. So.
Which is funny because we were talking earlier, which I feel the same way. Like, I'm not big on people with like political views in their music and stuff, but
right.
because I'm not big on politics to begin with, personally myself. But there's a couple bands that just because that's like what they were formed out of that I let it slide. Body Count's one of those.
That
and
would
like,
definitely be one.
a band like Dead Kennedys, like it wouldn't
Right.
be who they were
Black
if
Flag.
they didn't have it. Black Flag, exactly.
for sure, dude.
So anyway, so it's funny because we were talking about that, but tonight, I'm going to bring Body Counts a little bit different, but maybe some that some of our listeners were into also.
I think it's great to mix it up a little bit.
Hell yeah.
You guys have a more varied taste than I do, so I think it's cool to throw in different
Fuck
ones.
yeah. It'll be
That
good.
aren't all the same. So that's awesome. And Chris, you got the Lost Classic tonight.
Yes, I do.
I fucked it up somehow because normally the Lost Classic would be the person that did the last feature. So last week, I think I
He did
screwed
Ugly
up.
Kid Joe
It's
last.
back on track this
Oh.
week.
Oh, right.
But I
right.
think I screwed that up last week. So my apologies because I did it.
we did it at one time. Remember that? There was a mix-up.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember
Yeah,
what
so
happened.
whatever.
It's
That's
whatever.
cool. Chris has got it.
You're going to
tonight.
get some metal out of us one way or
Oh,
another.
yeah,
No shit,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Every last drop. Killer Cage match tonight. Always a fan favorite of ours. Listeners providing some random numbers on our Facebook page to help decide who's going to fight in the cage. And Chris, got a few listeners we want to say thank you to.
Yeah, we got once again Rebecca Boomside.
Of course.
Got Michael Bain, and
Hell yeah.
of course we got Jack Me Off.
Hell yeah, jack me off. Fuck yeah. So, All right, we got a good one tonight. The
we got
matchup, Joey. What's going on tonight?
We got a hateful matchup tonight.
Brutal, man.
This is just fucking a lot of pissed off shit going on. We got Eileen Warnos, the fucking killer hooker from Florida, and she's gonna go up against Toolbox Killer Lawrence Pliers Bittaker.
Ooh.
So that's two people that like to fucking
hateful,
just
man.
hate motherfuckers. Yeah,
just gnarly. Yeah, that's going to be a good matchup because Eileen, I mean, she definitely could fucking fight.
Right.
And Bittaker, you know, he was nasty. I mean, it's like you said, man, a lot of fucking hatred in that cage tonight.
You know, early in this one, I lean a little more towards Warnos. But
we'll see, though, because they got two objects.
Eileen, you get it?
Eileen, okay. Yeah.
And a very interesting variable this
yeah,
week.
once we get those, that's whenever it'll really
that's when
off.
it gets fun. We'll do that in the Mayhem segments. You got to keep listening.
Eileen with Eileen. That's what I would just, if I was outside with the protesters, Eileen with Eileen.
Eileen on Eileen, or Eileen with Eileen. Or I come on Eileen. You know,
Come
on Eileen.
Yeah, she'll shoot you for that.
We got a new sponsor this month, Chris.
Yeah,
how about this, man? Rebecca Boomsock, man. Amazing. She's a listener. She just wanted to support what we're doing, and, you know, she threw us a $20 to sponsor the show for a month, which is awesome. So thank you, Rebecca, for that.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's great.
She used to do fucking car on asphalt track racing.
Right.
The real shit. Her dad was the crew chief for NASCAR legend Dick Trickle. And if there was ever a race car driver that Murder Metal Mayhem would get behind, a guy named Dick Trickle is just, how do you not? I mean, how do you not?
I mean, you're either going to be a race car driver or a porn star.
That's right. That's right. Name. But anyway, seriously, Rebecca worked with several local drivers around, you know, central Wisconsin. So super cool for her to do that, and we thank you. And in the description, link to her Facebook page and also the Dick Trickle Memorial Project, which she's involved with. So very, very cool stuff. So thanks, Rebecca. Thank you to everybody out there listening to Murder Metal Mayhem. Keep seeing the numbers. We're around 2,500 this week.
All right.
So thank you. But, Chris, we are at 499,000 listens, man.
Oh, fuck.
We are going to hit 500,000, 500,000 any day now, which is
it's
exciting.
Right the fuck right there, dude.
That's pretty fucking awesome. So thank you.
And if you're a regular listener, go listen to a couple of the old ones.
That's right. Bump it up a little bit, right? I mean, with 170 episodes, Joey, they got quite the assortment
catalog to go through.
So, Chris, I think it's about time. We got a lot going on here tonight. We're heading to the state of New Jersey. Hopefully to avoid some fucking bullets flying.
Yeah.
Pom, 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 pom.
Let's get our fucking murder on.
I'll make you feel one day. Every line you've ruined in your wake. You will live again and again. You're despicable. Unforgivable. You wanted their blood. Now the blood is your own. When you pray on the weak, you summon the devourer of souls.
Holy shit, man. That's that Corpse Grinder solo project. Just self-titled Corpse Grinder. Devourer of Souls. That is fucking brutal. I really dig it. As a matter of fact, I reached out to him on his website, and his press person contacted me because I asked about doing an interview with him for the show, and she said obviously he's on tour right now with Cannibal Corpse, so he's not doing interviews right now, but after the tour's over, she said to get back with her, she'll try to set something up. So that's fucking cool as hell.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard that, go check out that Corpse Grinder, man. Holy shit. Brutal stuff. So
I mean, the drummer of Cannibal Corpse did an interview with Metal Mayhem.
I saw that.
So we could get Murder Metal Mayhem to get fucking Corpse Grinder.
Right? Yeah, that would be funny. So yeah, Paul Mazurkowitz, I saw that.
Yeah.
He's a super cool guy. They're all real nice.
I was reading that article and I saw Metal Mayhem. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Right?
But
when we played with them, he was up at the merch table when we were loading in, and he was like holding the door and shit open for us. And I was like, man, that's fucking cool, dude. Thanks. Just Not at all like you would expect the person from a bigger band like that would be. Just all super nice guys.
Right.
Alex Webster was really cool. I was talking to him a little bit. They pretty much kept to themselves on their bus because there wasn't really a backstage.
Right.
So that was where they were mostly. But they were in and out, and they played with Misery Index. And I was talking, of course, with Jarvis, Adam Jarvis, who's the drummer and just unbelievably good. We interviewed him on the show, and Adam was there with the tour, and his cousin John was running the Cannibal Corpse and Misery Index merch table. So it's kind of cool to meet those
fucking
guys.
John Jarvis fucking talking. I don't know if he talked him into it, but Pig Destroyer is one of the headliners.
I saw that.
I'm so stoked.
I saw that. Yeah. Because he played last year with his other band, right?
Yeah, and fucking Misery Index has played there.
I've seen that.
So there's like all these connections. So and he even just comes out to Full Terror anyway just to come out and hang out.
Right.
So it's like, okay, he's already there, man. Bring that fucking Destroyer shit out here because people love that. And
right.
fucking, they did get him. So.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. So tonight we're going to be talking about the disturbing case known as the Walk of Death.
That's a hell of a name for you. And it's
brutal,
That's what it is, too. Fuck.
And I've heard the name pronounced two different ways, Unruh and Unruh. I'm going to say Unruh because Unruh sounds really fucked up.
Yeah,
so
that's what
I'm not sure, but Howard Unruh, Unruh, so an odd name. After he comes home from World War II, he took a pistol and a little stroll in downtown Camden, New Jersey in 1949, shooting 13 people in 12 minutes, kids included. It is one hell of a crazy fucking story, man.
Snapped.
Totally snapped. So, Chris, you're the one that suggested it. How did you come across this one?
Fuck, I don't even remember. Dude.
One of those algorithm things that just showed up in your YouTube?
Up. I was like, and I had heard about it before, and I just I couldn't remember the dude's fucking name. And when I saw it, I was
it's
like,
an odd
that's
name.
the motherfucker right there.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, you texted us that. That's how we always send each other shit all the time. And I read about it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is definitely going on the list, So really good one. Joey, what about you? Had you ever heard of this story?
I did hear about this story, but it wasn't that long ago, pretty recently. So
interesting.
Yeah. So that's pretty ironic because it's a fucking really old case,
right?
And considered one of the first mass murders in America or whatever.
Yeah,
he's like the grandfather of mass shootings and shit.
Yeah,
but anyway,
right.
So I hadn't heard about it. I mean, it'd probably only been in the last year or two that I finally did. But when I did, it's like, okay, this motherfucker is kind of crazy.
It was like when Chris come across that Moskvin one. Oh my god! Like, how do you not do that? So this is one of those
thing I posted with those crochet dolls.
Oh yeah, those are creepy as fuck.
I was like, dude, those victims. Like Moshpin dolls. That's all I thought.
Totally. Now, I had never heard of it until Chris brought this up. But one thing I did want to point out is PTSD is a real thing. Unfortunately, I know some people I served with that have this real bad. And so I do not in any way want to come across as mocking it or, we do a fucked up show with a lot of dark humor. So
pretty much.
In no way are we trying to belittle anybody that's suffering from PTSD. So want to just be real clear about that because that's obviously part of this conversation. The guy comes home from World War II and he's definitely not the same person. And so we'll talk about that. But I did want to just bring that up. Howard Unruh was born Camden, New Jersey, 1921. His parents were Samuel and Frida. They're working class people. They raised him in a broken family because they wind up getting divorced. Howard and his brother James were raised by their mom. As far as I know, their father was a part of their lives. But this would have been a time, Chris, when divorce was not commonplace and kind of frowned upon.
Yeah.
So that had to be a little tough on them. But, kids bounce back from that shit. So, the mom was very religious and she definitely put that off on the kids. So, we've heard these stories before with moms a little kooky like Ed Gein.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was to that point, Joey, I don't know if you had heard anything about
I don't
the
know
mom.
if it was that serious, but you never know.
Right, but she was super religious, and of course Howard took that and was doing that while he was in the Army, and then afterward. He graduates from high school in 1939. His classmates in his yearbook would say he was shy, but his ambition was to become a government employee. That just sounds very sad to me and very depressing.
Right?
Like
that's very vague.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, okay, like he went to go into the Army, so I guess in a way you're a government employee, but not the thing I would envision when somebody says my aspiration in life is to become
go sit in a cubicle.
Yeah, exactly. In this steel gray building that doesn't look like anything. That just sounds very depressing to me. I don't know.
Instead, he was a government detainee.
That's true. That's true. He winds up enlisting in the Army in 1942 while World War II is going on. So that certainly, would have been a good time to join. They need people. Definitely took some balls. The casualties and the multiple theaters of war meant a lot of guys are not coming back the same. And there's a reason why they refer to this as the greatest generation, man. Fucking the Normandy. Those motherfuckers that poured out of those fucking boats on those beaches getting mowed down, dude. That took some fucking brass nuts. So I definitely, utmost respect. Now, Chris, I read that Howard was part of a tanker crew, and he saw some action in Europe in 1944 and 5. Did you see that?
Yeah, but everybody he killed, he had a book. He wrote them down. And, what they had on them, and took their weapons and shit. But he had a whole record of everybody he killed when he was in the war. That's fucking nuts, dude.
Details about the corpse, so he would go up to the corpse and describe it.
His
That's
fucking
a little
goddamn
creepy.
Fucking that. I can't think of it.
Yeah, but his commander would say he was a great soldier, but certainly a little on the creepy side with the descriptions in a journal.
Just didn't care.
Kind of weird, man. I saw pictures. I saw the pictures. They were Polaroids that guys took when they went to the desert in Kuwait. When I went right to Fort Hood. But the guys that were coming back from Kuwait, I saw some pictures that they had of dead enemy soldiers piled up in there playing cards on them.
Jesus Christ. Seriously.
Yeah, I was just giving them back I don't really, that's kind of fucked up, so they were kind of laughing about it. It's definitely weird.
Yeah, my buddy came back from Afghanistan and he had some pictures and stuff, and I was just
yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, it's okay, you
it's
guys
real.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like watching it on rotten.com. It's in your face. You're holding a Polaroid, which is why I wrote the Low 12 song Bodies in My Pocket, which is about a sniper who relives his kills with these pictures in his head that are pictures and physical pictures.
It's just wild because you knew somebody. I probably a lot of people know somebody, and you hear all these tales of these motherfuckers coming back. How many people over there just taking pictures of all their fucking kills in Vietnam? God. But what was his name? Fucking Ramirez with his fucking cousin.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And he had all kinds of pictures he showed him, too. And
right.
It just seems like a lot of people are taking pictures of their kills over
in the wars. Yeah.
Imagine now with
that's what I'm
cell
saying.
phones.
Oh,
my God. Yeah. So, Joey, we've covered killers before, influence, like you said, with, cousins or, relatives, friends that were in the military. But Unruh saw some fucking action. And, many of the ones we've talked about have actually avoided war.
Right.
But in this case, he was legit, in the middle of it.
Yeah, he was in the shit. And, that's going to come into play whenever he commits his crime.
Oh, yeah.
He was very professional about what he was doing.
He really was, unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
So his commander would later say that Howard was a very good soldier, never in trouble, did not drink, Chris, so he wasn't hanging out at the Nation.
Nope.
Didn't smoke or chase women, and read from his Bible and wrote long letters to mom back home. So,
I mean, that sounds like the Nation.
That does sound kind of Nation. Yeah.
Always reading my Bible, man.
So, yeah, Chris, that's what I thought. He must have been hanging out at the Nation with all that Bible reading.
Oh, man, we have fucking get-togethers every other day, dude. Tomorrow night, because I'm here, we got to do this. Tomorrow,
that's awesome.
Bible reading time.
That's awesome. Listening to some dissection.
Yeah.
Some, seriously satanic shit. Unruh did get the usual awards that soldiers get. You know, it always cracks me up when they list the few awards and they're the ones you get just because you served. Like, for example, I got a Desert Storm pin, even though I never went over there, but I was active while the war was going on. So I got them. So there are some things like that. It's kind of like the participation trophy. But there are others we've talked about. Obviously, Rick Rescorla would be the utmost example of the opposite, with all the silver stars and all that stuff, Purple Hearts. But he got the basic ones. So the war's over. He gets his honorable discharge. Nothing bad about it. He just wasn't exemplary. He just did what he had to do. He came home, but had that fucked up journal. Moves in with his mom in Camden, so he's back in New Jersey. His brother and father would later say he was never the same after the war. He was a little nervous all the time, very moody, kind of detached. And I would definitely say that he would probably have been a PTSD, but I don't think they were calling it that back then. You know?
He liked taking the pictures, though. I don't see why it would be PTSD, because he liked what he was doing, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
But the way they describe him being moody and detached, that kind of gives me the impression maybe that's what it was. Back then, they would have used terms like shell-shocked and that 1,000-yard stare you'd hear people refer to when they came back from war and saw some awful shit. So I'm not sure, but it makes me wonder if that was maybe part of it here.
Probably.
But Joey, he goes to work doing some sheet metal work and gets in some classes. What's he doing with the college classes?
He's going there and he's taking courses and
to be a pharmacist,
right? And it's what he wants to do,
right?
But unfortunately, he just fucking he fucks it up.
Yeah, he lasts a month.
That's it. That's all he lasts.
Temple University School of Pharmacy in Philadelphia. He lasts a month, Joey. So yeah.
And then it's also going to come into play that the pharmacy fucking angle might have a fucking been possible part of the MO for his fucking killings.
Yes, very
because
much
of
so.
a pharmacist involved in
I
that,
thought the same thing. But I wonder, I mean, Philadelphia is not very far from Camden, so he probably was going back and forth. But if he was like boarding there, could have been too that he was homesick for his mom. He's definitely mama's boy, but I'm not sure that he was staying there. Now, Chris, he's unemployed now, living with his mom. He sets up a shooting gallery.
In the fucking
now,
basement.
that's kind of nation.
That's
kind of a nation thing. But what's he got going on, dude?
Just fucking decided he's going to do target
in an
practice
apartment building, nonetheless.
In the basement, fucking neighbors fucking loved him, fucking shooting off guns all night long. Where's he getting the money for the goddamn ammo? He's got no job. But yeah.
Well, they found in the apartment equipment to make bullets.
Right, yeah, reloading.
So he was at least doing that. But yeah, the
just
shooting gallery in the basement kind of fucked up. Neighbors are fucking
like
pissed
firing
off.
real guns too, not like a carnival fucking shooting gallery.
Right, exactly. So, speaking of his neighbors, though, he definitely pissed them the fuck off. But he gets mad, Joey, because they're saying some negative things about him, talking some shit.
I mean, you don't even know what they're even fucking talking about. Like, none of that came out. You don't know how much of this was in this dude's head.
Right.
But the fact is he really fucking thought these people were fucking down talking him behind his back, and they were all had it out for him. So he's dealing with feeling stupid in his own community. Right. Which that's like, you want to piss a motherfucker off, make him feel dumb everywhere they walk around and shit.
Yeah, exactly. He would say, quote, "They made derogatory remarks about my character." And like you said, Joey, I mean, he's got to live in this neighborhood back in the day when the neighborhoods were tight. Everybody fucking knew everything about everybody, so that's not going to help. He's got the apartment decorated with his medals, reading the Bible all day, and working on his marksmanship in the basement at this fucking homemade fucking shooting range. It's just like,
that's fucking great.
That sounds like the directions to create a homicide.
Exactly. Exactly. And if this was now, he'd be playing Xbox or something like that. Like a shooting game, like Doom or some shit like that.
Jacking off to Luca Magnotta videos.
Hey, don't fuck with cats, right? He began to fantasize now about killing his neighbors. So Chrissy's escalating this shit. Definitely feels the fucking world is out for him, man. Nobody's fucking giving him any love.
Yeah.
And he's fucking pissed. So Joey's really in a feud with one neighbor in particular, and you brought this up, the tie-in. I think it definitely holds true here.
Yeah.
What's the deal with this?
There's another pharmacist named Maurice Cohen, and they're talking shit about...
He actually has a pharmacy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a legit pharmacist.
Right.
Now, fucking, Howard wanted to be a pharmacist. He fucked up in school, so he never made it there. So this dude who does own the pharmacy in his neighborhood, so he sees that. He sees what he wanted in life, but he fucked up. So he's already got animosity. Jealous. And now also fucking Maurice Cohen is, making complaints about him and talk shit because they say Howard's sitting there jamming music all day long, just loud as fuck.
Didn't say what kind of music it was.
No, and this is back in the
1949.
40s, yeah. So it's like, I'm not sure, big band just jamming out. Like, is your phonograph just off the chain?
Or fucking Waco Jesus or some shit?
Off the chain.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly like what you had to do to play music to piss people off back then, but he was doing it, and so he already had like this feeling that Maurice Cohen's an enemy to him, and whenever he's going to make a little list, kind of
his little hit list here. So yeah, definitely Maurice is on the shit list. I also saw that Maurice was pissed at him for cutting through the backyard, which gets into this whole thing with this gate. We're going to get to that. I've seen shit like this though. Somebody cutting through somebody's yard, getting somebody all pissed off. When I was in the Army, when you're getting out on a medical, they put you in what they call medical hold, which means you're getting out, you just don't know exactly when, and they put you to work like in the hospital doing something like filing or things you could do with what your disability is. So I was working in an office like on a computer for the last 3 or 4 months I was in. But anyway, there was a guy I met in medical hold that was getting out on a psych disability. And he tried to kill his neighbor with a claymore mine in his fucking yard because the neighbor would come in his yard with his dog and shit in his yard and then fucking not pick it up and just walk off. So this dude, Joe, got a little fucking testy and set up a legit claymore mine and tried to kill the dude, fucked him up, but didn't kill him.
Holy fucking shit, dude.
And he's telling me this story and I'm just like, wow, that's pretty fucked up. Because we went to lunch a couple times, and he told me that. And when he told me that story, we were in his John boat in the middle of a lake fishing. So I'm like, okay, like Joe tried to kill somebody with a claymore mine, and now it's just me and him on this boat.
Right.
And there's like a knife to clean the fish. Like there's some shit like he could definitely have killed me with. But he was not that way. But anyway, to me at least. But yeah, he was a Vietnam vet, an older dude. That was still in when I was in, but yeah. So I get that. People sometimes get a little pissed off about somebody cutting through their yard. But Howard, definitely takes this shit to a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Now, I did see that he was gay, and at that time, this would definitely be looked down upon. And the night before he does this walk of death, he goes to a movie in Philadelphia with the guy that he met, but he was late. So the guy left. So Howard Howard fucks up. He's late. The man he was meeting there left.
He stayed for 3 double features.
Yeah, he decides, fuck it. I guess I'm going to stay. I'll get a big bucket and fucking free refills and whatever. 3 movies. He comes home at 3 o'clock in the morning. But Chris, he really seems to fucking set him off as that little gate in the backyard. What was the fucking deal with that, man?
I'm not even 100% sure what was the gate, but I just know he was fucking
He bought this little gate and set it up, I guess, because this neighbor was bitching.
Yeah, I don't know
why he would have had to put it up.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm confused about. But
he was very proud of this gate, apparently, because when he came home, it's 3 a.m, the gate's fucking gone. So somebody stole his gate, dude. Went and pawned it or something. I don't know, but he's fucking mad. And that's what sets this shit off, Joey. He gets up the next day and kind of what's the schedule there in the morning?
Well, I mean, it started off as a good day because he wakes
Yeah.
up. His
7
mom's
o'clock.
making him eggs and milk.
Yeah.
Like that's it. He was like stoked on that, so he was getting that. And
No
then,
Lucky Charms or anything, just eggs and milk, right?
Yeah, and then he's up and he's thinking, you know what? Today's the day that I'm going to take care of these motherfuckers that have been talking shit, and he's going to go on a murder spree. And to him, in his mind, I think he said like around 9:30 or so would have been the perfect time. And probably what he's factoring is that most of the people that he was targeting were professionals and they'd be at work. So he probably wanted them in those places. I mean, how much fucking easier can you have it? It's a business where you can walk in.
And
it's not like just like...
you know the people are going to be there.
Yeah,
Right.
so that
It's
was like, you know, an easy way for him to set up just a lot of motherfuckers and get those kills. But, you know, he eats his breakfast that his mom makes. He lays his head on his bed for a little while and takes a rest first.
Right.
And then
puts on his best suit and fucking goes to fucking town.
His
man.
fucking brown fucking whatever suit. It was like a full khaki or whatever.
Right.
Didn't he like have some? He was going to hit his mom with something too, wasn't he? Like,
I'm not sure about that.
I thought I saw that somewhere.
Because his mom left. His mom thought he was acting weird. So his mom fucking went to like a friend's house, got the fuck out of there.
Right.
And probably good for her, because who knows? I mean, he's definitely was off his fucking shit. So about 9:30 a.m., he thought would have been the best time to do this when these businesses would be open and these people that are on his fucking hit list would be there where he knew where they were. So it's September 6, 1949. It's 9:20 a.m. Howard walks out of his apartment, decked out. He's got his German Luger pistol, also known as a pistol parabellum.
Which is that the gun he got from the service?
A lot of guys came home with Lugers, so I'm assuming so.
I thought I saw some of this.
Yeah, with an 8-round magazine. He's got extra ammo in his pockets as he steps out onto River Road there in Camden. The walk of death has started. It's 12 minutes of some serious fucking carnage here.
Just goes off, man.
So here we go. The first person he comes to is a fucking poor delivery driver who he takes a shot at, but he misses. The driver tried to warn the neighbors he's running down the street.
Hey, this guy's got a gun.
But everybody's like, yeah, whatever. I'm sure, they thought maybe he was making it up or he was crazy. I don't know. But, shit like that didn't happen back then.
No, now it's just commonplace now, which is sad to say.
Unfortunately, up in Chicago, somebody's screaming, somebody's got a gun. Yeah. People are going to listen to that.
Howard's got a gun.
Right? There you go. Chris, he enters the little shoe repair store. What happens here, man?
Yeah, the shoe store owner was there, John
Pilarczyk,
yeah. But he was there, and he just walked up, fucking
Boom.
Shot him, fucking think in the chest, and then shot him in the head. I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
Just out of nothing, dude. Just walks
right.
in.
Boom.
Don't care.
Right now, Joey. Next is the old barber shop. Now this one is fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, this one's terrible. Yeah, and if you look at the demographic of where all these crimes are happening, you see how close quarters from his residence to all these fucking. Yeah, it's within a block. Fucking area.
Yeah. It's not like he's driving around town.
Right. So he goes over, and then the barber who's in there, Clark Hoover, he's cutting the hair of a 6-year-old boy or a Smith. Fucking Howard walks in there and he fucking opens up fire. And he ends up fucking shooting Clark Hoover in the head, and he shoots fucking the 6-year-old in the neck. And he ended up passing away from his injuries as well. So both of them were casualties of Howard's attack.
Yeah, and the mom was right there,
yeah,
so she saw
watching.
that shit. That's just fucking awful, man. That's sad. I can't imagine.
And that's what's
being a parent and seeing something like that happen.
Yeah, and that's what's so insane about a situation like this. So if you're Howard and you go in there and you're gunning motherfuckers down, you shoot the fuck. Maybe you weren't actually aiming for the kid. I don't know. You wanted to kill Clark for sure,
right?
But you end up killing them both. So why wouldn't you just kill her also? Because she's in the room too.
It is weird because he passed people by.
Right. Or do you want her to live in fucking...
Right.
Knowing she had to watch that.
Yeah, knowing that now you got to live with this so you watch your kid die.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man. So now he goes to the old pharmacy, Cohen Pharmacy, the business of the neighbor that we've been talking about. Oh, poor Maurice Cohen. He shoots and kills a customer, James Hutton. Unfortunately, this guy's coming out of the store. He doesn't move out of the way after Howard said, "Excuse me." So that was kill him.
You didn't say "God bless you" after I sneezed.
Right? Yeah, I mean, what the fuck?
Dogma.
Yeah.
He goes in the pharmacy, he sees Maurice and his wife, Rose, running up the stairs to their apartment, so he follows them. Maurice climbs out the fucking window, gets on the roof. Rose and her 12-year-old son, they hide in closets. Unruh gets to the closet she's in and just opened fires on it.
With the doors shut and everything, just didn't give a fuck what was
Pulls
in there.
the fucking door open, shoots her in the fucking face and kills her. And the 12-year-old son is completely unscathed. Pretty amazing. He gets out unharmed. But the story with him is fucked up. We'll get to that toward the end. So remember, the 12-year-old Charles Cohen comes up later in this story. He sees the neighbor's mother trying to call the cops. So Howard sees her mother calling the cops. So he shoots her multiple times before he gets out the window, sees Maurice out there, shoots him in the fucking back. He falls to the pavement below and dies. So holy shit, the one dude he really had it out for, he got him, man.
He made sure he got him, and he's still like, what, like fucking 5 minutes into this? He's still got another like 8 minutes to go of him
Exactly.
just going to town.
Just brutal,
Nobody's stopping him.
Brutal. Chris, I don't know. I mean, he is like completely out of fucking control, but I'm not sure why the fuck the cops weren't there yet.
Ugh. So,
Unless nobody called them yet, or, I mean, obviously 1949, but still, I'm thinking Camden, New Jersey. I mean, could it have been that big of a city at that time where they wouldn't have had a little bit more police on the scene
right. Well,
after a few minutes of this dude just blowing people away, man?
I don't know, man, but they didn't show up until after he was done.
No.
And, it might have been a case on a larger scale like that Queens lady, Kitty, remember we talked about
Kitty Genovese?
Yeah, that she got beat down and shit.
Yeah, everybody thought someone else was going to call.
Right, back then, everybody's like, oh, somebody else will get it because this is some crazy shit and I'm going to take care of myself first.
Right.
Or maybe my neighbor if he's right there, but yeah, people aren't fucking being able to react like nowadays fucking, even in the time of normal house telephones, everybody could just call 911 by that point.
Yeah.
Right.
After the Kitty Genovese.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it could have been that.
Yeah.
Everybody thought someone else was going to call. So now Joey, he is in the middle of the road and he's still killing. He stops a car and shoots this fucking dude. Alvin Day, did you see that? Kills him.
Yeah.
Before he drives up on the sidewalk. So you got a car up on the sidewalk.
Just fucking total fucking shit.
Another dead body. I mean, this dude is like walking mayhem, man.
It was the worst fucking, wrong place, wrong time for Alvin Day getting shot.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of, I can't remember his name now at the fucking, the Cielo Drive fucking murders, the Manson family.
Oh, Sharon Tate.
But the
Abigail
Stephen
Folger.
Parent, is that who was in the car?
Oh, yeah. Stephen Parent would be the definition
that's what I'm
of
saying. So,
wrong place, wrong time.
you're just in the car and you're trying to drive somewhere and all of a sudden you just get shot and fucking killed by this maniac,
Exactly. Now, he's heading into the tailor shop. So he's been to the pharmacy, the barber shop, now the tailor shop, which is where another neighbor he had that he was upset at for talking shit, Thomas Zagrino, the Italian in fucking New Jersey, probably not the smartest thing, but lots of Italians were tailors when they came here because my grandmother used to talk about her dad and my grandpa's dad were both first generation. Well, they came over here as adults with kids. But they were tailors.
Right.
And my mom's dad was a tailor. He worked for Brooks Brothers. So a lot of Italians did that, so that kind of makes sense. Now, Thomas wasn't there, and he would actually be the only one of the intended victims to survive this. But his poor wife, Helga, she gets gunned down instead. He shoots a front door of a grocery store. They had it locked. So I'm guessing they're hearing shots, and somebody was smart enough to lock the fucking door. And he goes and moves on. Now, Chris, he shoots somebody else in a fucking car. I mean, now this shit is going crazy, man.
The fact these people stop, though, like, there's a woman, her son, and her mother. It was like a grandmother, daughter, son thing.
Yeah.
Like, shoots them all three. The fucking 2 women died instantly, and the kid died later in the hospital. So he's just like fucking going completely nuts, doesn't care. It's not even about a list anymore.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Those 3 people did nothing. You know, the mother and grandmother were in the front seat. The boy was in the back seat. But like you said, Chris, he dies at the hospital. Ironically, the hospital that Unruh wound up going to.
Yeah.
Joey, he winds up shooting into a window. This one is fucking sad and fucking horrible, dude.
Yeah, and he thought he saw somebody in the window of
like
this
a
building.
movement with the curtain.
Right, so he thought that there was somebody there. There wasn't, but he still shot into the building. And as he did this, he fucking hits Thomas Hamilton's child, fucking young boy.
2-year-old.
And
man.
he gets fucking killed. And then there's a fucking babysitter there with him.
Right.
Who fucking just sees it. Like all of a sudden the kid just gets pegged off and shit.
Right.
And, you know, that fucking
yeah, she goes
ruined
into
her
shock
fucking
and
life.
like goes down. I mean, she was a mess. Definitely a sick fucking stroll here with this dude. Continuing, he shoots into a car on the street with 2 male occupants. They escape without getting shot, and they hid in a bar. I guess if you're going to be hiding out in a
Go to the
shootout,
pub and wait it out.
I mean, why not, right? I mean, have a drink and just fucking chill.
Jerry, I need a fucking whiskey.
Yeah,
Make it a
right?
double.
Like those people cleaning up the Dahmer apartment that Bob at Shakers talked about. After that, get me a whole bottle. Yeah, I don't want the shot glass. Give me the fucking bottle of scotch. Now, this, of course, would be, if you made it to the Nation, then, of course, there'd be plenty of alcohol there at the Nation. I did see a witness saw a man come out of a tavern. The owner comes out, shoots at Unruh. He misses. He runs back inside.
But did he miss, though?
That's right. Because later the police would find out he did get hit in the leg. So he thought he
don't know
him.
who he got shot by, but it could have been that guy.
Very likely. Very likely. Unruh did shoot a couple other neighbors. I saw hanging some laundry up in the backyard. What the fuck?
Fuck y'all.
What the fuck did they do?
Just like
a mother and her son hanging up laundry. They're wounded, but they would survive.
You gonna flash your fucking undies at me?
That's right. Look at those granny panties. Boom, boom. He would start hearing sirens. Finally, the cops. In the distance, he gets scared and runs back to his apartment. So, Chris, I think that if this was a shooting incident in Chicago, a lot more people would have survived, because those guys are bad fucking shots up there. I mean, you hear these statistics over a holiday weekend, 60 people are fired upon, 2 died.
Like not
motherfucker,
a good shot,
you need a
Howard.
basement firing range.
Yes, you do.
I mean, come on now.
Like
Howard is a pretty deadly shot.
Between the military and fucking having the basement shooting range, dude, like he legit trained himself to fucking be a pretty good goddamn shot. So
exactly. With a handgun at distances, that's pretty decent for sure. Now, Joey, the cops have the apartment surrounded and a gunfight fucking goes on. But what did that one reporter, I mean, this is pretty smart.
It was pretty slick, and especially for back then even.
Yeah.
So he was like, he goes to the phone book and he fucking figures out this guy's fucking phone number.
Right.
And he calls him.
Right.
And
he answers.
In the middle of this firefight, fucking Unruh fucking answers the phone and he's talking to him and, he's fucking, fucking Unruh is, I'm fucking spacing right now because
he talks about that he's having a little fight or something like that.
Right, yeah.
It's
He downplays all of it.
Right.
And then he talks about like,
well, I'm winning or something.
I'm winning. And he was like, and
got some friends that are going to want to come get me.
Yeah, he said, hold on a second. I got to get off the phone. I got 2 friends coming up to see me.
Right.
And he's talking about these fucking cops. Yeah.
Right, calling his ass to get the fuck out.
So he's talking to this dude and like
all calm and shit on the phone.
Yeah, calm as fuck. So he obviously fucking was definitely fucking aware of what he was doing.
Right. Very methodical.
Cognizant, methodical, yeah. And even whenever this guy called him, like, he even, took it a chance to fucking crack some jokes. So
Right. I mean, could you imagine what he did in those 12 minutes if you had done that and you're sitting in your apartment like
what the
the
fuck
place
did I
is
just
surrounded
do,
by
dude?
police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And two of them are coming up the stairs and your phone rings and you're like
You're like,
cracking
hey,
jokes.
what's up, dude?
But he was cracking them in like an odd. It
Yeah.
wasn't like funny. It was like disturbing.
I also didn't understand, like, and I don't know the situation where the phone was located and where this reporter was, but
Right.
if you get a hold of this dude that's in the middle of all this fucking shit that's going down, why haven't the cops or somebody in that fucking
Get like a hostage
Try-
negotiator. or
yeah,
something
have
to
gotten
talk
on
to
the
them?
phone and talked to them themselves.
Right.
But it sounded like just this reporter talked to him, and then Unruh was like, "Oh, gotta go, bruh.
Right.
Gotta shoot some more fucking rounds off."
So the cops finally toss some tear gas into the apartment. The two cops
And
yelling
that
for
was
him.
right after the guy talked to him on the phone.
Right.
Yeah, like
So
right
it was
after.
like
the
they
first
knew that
one
he
was a
did it.
dud. The
Yeah.
second one went off and filled the small apartment with CS gas. Howard says, "I give up, don't shoot." He comes out and falls down the stairs to the feet of the two cops. So that had to be fucking special. I'm sure they didn't, help him brace his fall.
No,
when he landed.
probably not. And it's
Yeah,
like,
might have even kicked him a couple times, and I wouldn't blame him.
all right.
They cuff his ass and bring him in. Little perp walk. Of course, the neighborhood's fucking thankful of
Like,
that.
God damn. Get rid of him.
Jesus. At least we don't have to hear that fucking basement fucking fire rage going on.
That
And
fucking
it's-
jazz
and
music
I was just
all
gonna
night
say that
long.
was-
Right?
loud
That
as-
crazy fucking death jazz music, right? So yeah, the cops search the apartment. They find a bunch of ammunition, 700 rounds worth, bullet making equipment, guns, knives, a drawer full of his medals in the army for marksmanship, and also the little basement firing range. So they were probably like, "Wow, this fucking dude was like serious."
Yeah, he is.
And
He's
a
been thinking about
Bible,
this a while.
and a Bible open to Matthew 24, which opens with they call it the little apocalypse speech from Jesus. So I don't know if that was like his inspiration here. Kind of creepy, how obsessed he was with that shit. Who knows? They also found a book on sex hygiene, so that's good. And
I mean, you gotta keep it up.
maybe that was like porn to him. I don't know.
Maybe
don't
he's
know.
just trying to keep clean for the fellas.
That's right. Now, Chris, Howard tells the cops everything in great detail. And did you see the prosecutor's name was Michael Cohen?
Yeah, they weren't related. and
Not
shit.
related
Right.
to Maurice, but that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, kind of a fitting, like karma coming back to get your ass.
Yeah, like you killed a fucking
Cohen. So I'm
guess what?
Mr. Cohen or, Attorney Cohen, whatever, the prosecutor. So that's fucked up. Joey, he gets charged with what, man?
13 counts of murder, plus he got 3 more attempted murders.
Right.
But they find him to be insane, and they call him paranoid schizophrenic, and he ends up,
Right.
he doesn't even stand trial. He goes to a fucking state hospital.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fucking totally crazy. He's in Trenton for the fucking, in a hospital for the criminally insane. That's
Right.
where he would remain. And so this is the 40s, and you're okay with that.
Right.
Then you get to the 50s or so, whenever we were talking about Ed Gein.
Right.
He got that.
Right.
But after that, I don't ever hear none of the fucking big ones getting
Yeah, because see, the thing is, once you start trying to cover up the crime, then you can't say
Yeah.
you didn't know right from wrong.
Right.
A dude like this was legit,
Right.
and Gein as well.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately needed to be in a fucking mental
I pretty
hospital.
much think that they've like almost. You do hear there are a couple cases that surprise the ones that get fucking not guilty by reason of insanity. There are a few cases that do get that,
Yeah.
and some of them are the ones that I would be like, damn, I never thought that would have happened.
Right. Richard Chase would be
Right.
a good example.
Some of the
that.
other ones
Like,
that
just fucking
that
Looney
don't
Tunes,
get
man.
that, and you're just like, how the fuck, that
Right.
motherfucker's crazy.
Right.
And that's like Gacy was talking about. Gacy said, if a man like Jeffrey Dahmer can't get, off because of insanity,
Right.
then no
Who the
one
fuck
should be
can?
able to get it because that motherfucker is batshit crazy.
Right.
And I agree. Like,
Right.
somebody like Dahmer, the shit that he was involved in and everything.
building that
we got
fucking
our new
temple
Dahmer
and
mask,
shit.
speaking of which.
Right. Right.
But I mean, if you look at everything that dude did, and you were like, oh, that dude's one of the craziest motherfuckers that ever lived on this planet.
Right.
But he wasn't fucking
insane legally.
Right.
Right.
And he ended up getting killed in prison over it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
But this guy did get it back in the fucking...
Yeah, and this dude is legitimately crazy, I think. He needed to be in a psychiatric hospital. He's in a cell by himself in the most secure wing, I'm sure. He lives until 2009. He's 88 years old. Holy shit. In an interview, it was the last interview he did with a psychiatrist. He told him, I'd have killed 1,000 if I had enough bullets.
Oh, he was loving it.
Yeah. Was really enjoying the little shooting gallery in Camden. In a crazy, absolutely crazy twist of fate, the boy who survived, the one that hid in the closet, Charles Cohen, later would be his granddaughter, Carly Novell. She's in that February 14th, 2018 school shooting in Parkland, Florida. She hides in a closet and survived the shooting.
Yeah, that's
how crazy is that? His granddaughter, same fucking thing.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. Unfortunately, Charles was not alive when that happened. He dies in 2009, so 9 years before that school shooting. But how crazy! What a weird irony of that. You know? So he dies a month before Unruh died. So really interesting. Joey, Chris, anything to add to this one?
No, not offhand.
I think we did a good job with this. I really loved the case. Chris, it was a great suggestion, man. It was really good. I did my research for watching a couple good documentaries. There's not a lot on this, but interesting stuff I saw on YouTube.
The thing with this one, and maybe it's because it's so old and everything, but almost everything that I saw was about the same about this. You didn't see too much new shit.
Too much discrepancy.
No. And the Wikipedia actually wasn't too bad. The information was right. I checked a lot of it. I looked at a few articles as well. But yeah, when you're going back to 49, you're not going to find nearly the stuff that you would find in these modern cases. But, there is some stuff out there. Next week, now, this is one I watched. This is a crazy story. The Berari deaths, which is a mass suicide of 11 family members. They hung themselves in their apartment or their house in Berari, Delhi, which is in India, in 2018. So
that's fucking crazy, dude.
It is super crazy, man. They had their father die, the grandfather died, and one of the sons told them he was like channeling the grandfather into him, so he was telling them what they needed to do with like their money, like all the family decisions. He was channeling the voice of his dead grandfather or his father,
right?
And then he winds up telling them that the only way they can get the grandfather to come back is if they all kill themselves. So they all thought that at the moment before they were going to die, the grandfather was going to come back and save
them all.
Yeah, it's a fucked up story. So we're going to do that one. I bet a lot of you don't know about this, but you are going to next week. It's a good one. The Berari deaths. Yeah, check that out on YouTube. You'll see it. It's there's a really good docuseries I watched on it that was pretty chilling. Joey, what about Page a Day, man? What you got for us over there?
I got some Page a Day.
Nice.
There's only two of them because one of them's kind of longer, but it's super fucking interesting.
Okay.
So the first one's the shorter one. Now, they're talking about this thing called a wandering cop. Now, a wandering cop, that is an officer who frequently transfers between police departments despite a record of misconduct or unsuitable or subpar job performance. So basically, this motherfucker's either been in shit or fucking sucks at his job.
Right.
But you're still going to fucking give him the job somewhere, and he's going to bounce around.
Just like with Christopher Dunch and the doctor thing, there's a record.
Right.
He was able to go from hospital to hospital.
So they say the wandering cop phenomenon is the result of several factors, including there's a lack of communication among the 18,000 police agencies on the federal, state, and local levels in the U.S., which that makes sense. That's a lot of fucking people to fucking deal with. It's easier to hire an officer who's already been trained and certified than it is to recruit rookies. Also, I get that, but it's still fucked up.
Right.
And thirdly, there's pressure on police departments to cover up misconduct to avoid lawsuits, investigations, bad press, and etc. Because no fucking police station wants to fucking look bad.
Fuck no.
And we know that now more than fucking probably ever before, you know. So a well-known example of a wandering cop is Cleveland officer Tim Lehman, who was the one that shot 12-year-old Tamir Rice when he was playing with a toy gun in a public park. And Lohman had previously been allowed to resign from a job after suffering a dangerous loss of composure during firearms training. So after he kills Rice, Lohman was fired from the Cleveland Police Department, but managed to get another job with the police department in Ohio, the same fucking state, a year later.
Wow.
And they talk about there's parallels between the wandering cop phenomenon and the practice of the Catholic Church of priest shuffling.
Interesting.
It's basically the same fucking thing. So that's some creepy shit. You
that
know,
is.
so,
that is. Page a day.
Hell yeah, page a day. So the second one that I got, like I said, this one's a little longer. This one's fucking good though. They're talking about this fucking these two brothers, Mark Olmsted and Luke Olmsted. So in late 1988, Mark's brother Luke's the older one, he visits him in New York City. Luke shows up and he's looking pale and thin, and he joked that he was on a macrobiotic diet. But Mark knew better. And Mark told him first, and then Luke admitted it, but both of them had tested positive for HIV.
Oh, wow.
So they were, and this is like 1988. I mean, the AIDS scare was fucking
height
huge
of
at that
it,
time.
yeah.
Yeah. So in early 1990, Mark joins Luke on the West Coast so that the two of them can take care of each other through this. It was in the early days of the AIDS epidemic, and Luke was a medical resident who had been closely following developments in the AIDS research, and he threw himself into the work, and he was confident that there was going to be a scientific fucking solution to this virus.
Right.
Like, he had fucking faith in that. Where his brother Mark did not share that optimism, and he felt that death was inevitable, so he was like, fuck that, I want to live my life to the fullest while I'm here.
Right.
So Luke, he dies on February 9th, 1991. Obviously never found the solution. And he dies. And Mark alone, he couldn't afford the rent on the Los Angeles apartment they shared. So he signed rent checks in Luke's name for his rent.
Oh, wow.
And as the executor of Luke's will, he was responsible for mailing his brother's death certificates to creditors and agencies, but he couldn't bring himself to do it. So when Luke's disability checks kept coming in, he kept cashing them.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn, dude.
So this is the beginning of a con man, is what's
Oh,
happening
boy.
here. So managing Luke's bank account, that was easy for him. The bank was in San Diego, and all the transactions were done by mail, so he never had to go fucking see these people or do anything.
Right.
When Luke's license came up for renewal, he went to the DMV. Several weeks later, an ID arrived with Luke's name and information with Mark's picture on it. So now he's got him a fucking legit
shit.
fake
Wow.
ID. So he drains fucking Luke's bank account and racks up debt on his credit cards. He drank to numb the fear of HIV, and he did crystal meth to revive his libido, which
Oh
was
my
inhibited
God.
by the medications he took. Which, if you got
Wow.
HIV, I don't think you're supposed to be fucking shit.
Yeah,
Right.
probably not.
But anyhow, so he's fucking doing dope and he's fucking drinking his ass off. So one day he notices a checkbox at the bottom of Luke's credit card bill, and it says, Mark here to ensure the full balance in the event of the cardholder's death. So he checked the box, and the scam comes into focus. He doctors Luke's death certificate,
Oh, shit.
post-dating his death to 1992 with a crude but effective cut-and-paste photocopy method, and he sent it to the credit card company. His next statement showed a balance of $0, Luke's statement, so Mark begins to use the rest of Luke's credit cards with a total disregard for the balances and just fucking blowing
fucking
shit.
don't give a shit. Yeah.
He didn't know how long he had left. He wanted to have a good life. That's the way he was thinking
Wow,
it.
buying VCRs. and
Yeah,
fucking going
exactly.
crazy.
Fucking, fucking thigh masters. So he runs
George
up like
Foreman grills.
$50,000 in credit card debt. He had credit cards in his own name and in Luke's.
Wow.
He sent out 5 death certificates at a time in his own and Luke's names to clear the balances on as many credit cards
Jesus
as possible.
Christ.
God damn, dude.
And at one point, someone from one of the credit card
Talk
companies,
about no fucks given.
right,
Right?
they contact, the credit card company calls him about the fucking death certificates, and they're like, well, the document's missing a seal. And Mark, who's playing Luke right now, he's slightly annoyed. He's like, well, there's an embossed colored seal on the back that reads CC, meaning certified copy. Credit card rep confirmed it was fine, and they went ahead with it. She didn't look closely enough to see that the CC was actually the Corona Cougars, which was the name of a Little League baseball team.
Oh, my God.
And Mark had got the stamp in an Office Depot, and he was just fucking slamming them.
Stamping shit.
Yep. So another time, Mark applies for Social Security as Luke, and a clerk told him that Luke Olmsted was dead. He begins to protest about this, and then the clerk starts apologizing, and she goes, "These things happen. I'm sorry." And he just fucking go with it.
Wow.
So to pay off his debts, he eventually sells an insurance policy and taken out on himself through a viatical settlement. And after paying off all of his and Luke's credit card debts, he still has $10,000 now from his own life insurance policy.
Oh, my God, with this guy.
So he's got
Wow.
$10,000, so he needs to make some money and fast. So that's whenever his crystal meth supplier is
boy.
like, hey, why don't you become a dealer? You would be really good at
oh,
this.
That's a good idea, Chris. And
So he
life
jumped.
is spiraling out of
Oh, God.
control. Let's sell some meth, right?
So Mark jumps at this shit. It's
Breaking
like
Bad.
he needs the money, So
a little bit. Wow.
he runs a loose operation, and he's just buzzing at anyone that comes to his
Of
apartment.
course.
Just fucking nonstop
Not caring.
traffic.
No.
Unconcerned about foot traffic, in and out, all hours. One loyal customer made it a point to limit his visits because he was so sure that Mark was fucking under the radar of the fucking cops. Man.
Right.
He was like, this place is so fucking hot. Fuck that, In 2002, Mark becomes very, very ill. And he's like, okay, this is it. This is the end. But the doctors tried one more combination of antivirals, and it worked. And within a year, HIV was undetectable in Mark's blood.
Wow.
He was going to survive. So after believing for years that any moment was his last, all of a sudden now his anxiety is shifted to all the criminal activity that he's
Oh,
done.
damn.
So in
Does he
August,
get a job at Walmart now?
yeah. In August 2003, narcotics officers raided his apartment. He's sentenced to 300 hours community service and fined $2,200, which ain't that bad. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
I mean,
So he
really,
wants
that's
to go straight after the bus, but the problem is he can't stop selling meth. He's addicted to the drug and the
Oh,
money.
no.
So he just fucking keeps going with it.
Oh, man.
So in October 2003, after this bust happens,
Jesus.
he attempts to declare himself dead one more time. He was doctoring death certificates on his home computer by this point.
Making H.H. Holmes look like a pussy.
Right?
Right?
And so he's trying to declare himself dead so he can get out of his community service. It's like, oh my God.
Just a little bit of community service.
Oh, my
Got to
God.
fake a death. Man.
So then February
He's good at it,
2004, his apartment's raided again. And this time the officers find 6 passports, all in Mark and Luke's names, all with Mark's pictures. And Mark insists to officers that he's Luke and that Mark's dead. And they're like, no, that's not the truth. And they fingerprint him. They're like, we told you. So
damn.
he pleads guilty to possession of a controlled substance for sale and manufacturing false documents and was sentenced to 16 months in prison. So he spent his time in prison getting clean and writing letters, making amends. Proficient in 5 languages, he began working as a subtitler for films upon his release.
Damn.
So that's what he does now.
Wow. Mark
So that's the
Olmsted.
story, of Mark. And
That's fucking.
Wow.
the last thing I have about this story is a comment from this guy, Stephen Wiseman, who's an expert on scams and identity theft at Bentley University. And this is what he said about this. He goes, this story reminds me why scam artists are the only criminals we call artists. And that makes sense.
Damn.
But
that
yeah,
was a
no,
good one.
that was a
man.
fucking crazy
yeah,
story,
It's a good
though.
page a day, man. Love that shit. One thing I wanted to mention since we're in the murder segment, guys, our Australian friend, our listener, former Australian federal police officer, going by the nickname Mick.
Yeah, we're gonna use
protect his identity. He is a 666 clubber. He has been a supporter of this podcast, and he has been in contact with me kind of off and on. But here we're set up to do an interview with him on Saturday, which is going to be Sunday there. But we're going to talk about some Australian cases we got coming up.
Fuck yeah.
David Burney, also the was that the Port Arthur massacre?
Yeah.
That's the one we got coming up quick. But Burney's on the schedule. And there's another one. I saw the first Australian serial killer, William McDonald.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to ask him about that one, too, because that happened, I think, in the 50s or 60s, an early case. But, yeah, so that'll be great. So we're going to talk to Mick, and then we're going to use those like we do with other, people like Howard Schechter that we talk to. We'll sprinkle them in other episodes. And, of course, our 666 Club members will get to hear the whole thing. So,
yeah,
that'll be cool. All right, well, we have done plenty of crazy murdering tonight. I think it's time to crank it the fuck up, talk some heavy metal. So, Joey, what the fuck are we got to do?
Let's get our metal on.
Just because CK has passed on, he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you.
Hell yeah, man.
Fuck yeah, what's up?
Hell yeah, we are chowing down on some Pop-Tarts, Chris, but Joey brought some special Pop-Tarts tonight.
He brought the cheap Pop-Tarts, the brown sugar cinnamon ones. CK's
favorite. Absolutely
the
favorite.
ones CK hated. The last thing I sent him was that box of these brown sugar Clover Valley generic Pop-Tarts. So I knew he was just like, what the fuck? But anyway, and then CCK's also got the festive green wig on, which is cool. St. Patty's Day coming up.
Yep,
so
not too far
CCK,
off.
Be nice to us. We're just having a little fun with you over there.
Oh, the sickle's not over here by me, so
That's true.
can't drop
That's true.
that on me.
All right, well, Joey, you got the horns tonight. Chris passed them to you.
He did.
That means you're going to be talking about a special band that you wanted to bring up for the feature here.
And we literally pass horns here.
We do.
At Horns
They
Eye.
are goat horns, too.
They are goat horns, and we literally fucking hand them off to the next person.
Traditions, man.
Yeah, traditions. So, yeah, I'm doing fucking...
Just like the Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, doing Pop-Tarts. Like I told y'all in the fucking intro, I'm doing fucking Body Count from South Central LA today. Pretty stoked to fucking do this band because I've been listening to them since fucking forever. And, I don't know, it's a pretty good fucking story. Some of our fans are fucking a little more mainstream than what I usually do. A lot of times I'll do like an underground death metal band. You know I'm going to get back to that. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. No, without a
but
doubt.
for now,
There's plenty of that in the wings.
Okay, so now for people that don't know, because we showed this to Chris's girlfriend yesterday and she had no idea.
Right? No clue.
But Body Count is a heavy metal band that's fronted by rapper Ice-T.
Right. He sang on the first Propane album.
Yes. Yeah. And so this is literally Ice-T and some of his neighborhood friends got together. They're all from South Central, but they all liked heavy metal and stuff. And they got together and they formed this band. Ernie C., who's the guitarist for Body Count and still is to this day, was his friend from high school. They're all from the same neighborhood.
Oh, that's cool.
And, you know, that was just what they wanted to do. So, like I said, Ice-T, he kind of came up in the hip-hop scene. And they're also out in California, so there's other ways you can get in. And one way that they did that was in 1985, there was this movie called Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. It was the second
I
Breakin'
remember
movie.
that.
Well, in that movie, there's a band playing, and it's Ernie C., who's all decked out in leather, and he's playing a double neck guitar in the background with Ice-T rapping.
No shit.
So
Nice.
yeah, so in that movie, there's that, and from that, he ended up getting some connections. Ice-T did, and that's whenever he put out his 1986 12-inch Dog in the Wax 6 in the Morning, which was the first, thing that he ever fucking released to the world.
Right.
And then it led to a record deal with Sire Records, and he was also did the song for the 1988 movie with Dennis Hopper, Colors, which got pretty famous. So they're like wanting to do this band, and Ice-T's like, look, he's like, I got 3 major bands that I influence what I do,
right,
and that I want to make our music sound like. He was like, I want to go for Black Sabbath because they're the originators, and they did, every riff you listen to, like,
hell yeah,
Black
dude.
Sabbath is
huge Black Sabbath fan.
The second band they said was Suicidal Tendencies, because at that time Suicidal Tendencies had brought out the gangster image from the West Coast in the thrash music,
right,
and helped with the crossover, and so that was huge to Ice-T and his bandmates. So Suicidal was another band that they were highly influenced on. And then a third one, also from LA, was Slayer. He was like, if we're going to play music, we want to play fast and technical like Slayer does. And they'd all been a huge fan of them too. So, pretty badass. They also listened to other bands like Infectious Grooves and Black Flag. He also, Ice-T would fucking say that, Agnostic Front was another huge inspiration on him. So New York hardcore.
That's awesome.
Now, they said that they wrote their songs through jam sessions, Body Count did. So then they would test the songs at small club shows. So they had some songs they'd work on. They're like, man, we don't know. They had no idea what people were going to think about this. You got
right.
And they were like, pretty innovative in what they were doing for back then. So
an all black band too, right?
And at that time,
that's not common,
right? Especially in this genre.
I mean, Living Color, but they were more mainstream than this.
So they said that, they started doing some shows in LA, and they opened up for bands like DRI and stuff like that, which is pretty awesome, And they said they did like 11 shows in LA, and then the next thing you know, their big break is Perry Farrell puts them on Lollapalooza. Now, this is the very first Lollapalooza concert ever. It was a pretty fucking big deal, but all of a sudden they come up and fucking Body Count throws down, and these people are fucking like, holy shit, that shit was fucking badass. And this is going to start what is arguably considered the very first rap metal album of all time, Body Count's fucking first album, their fucking self-titled Body Count. Some people will tell you that Rage Against the Machine's 91 demo might be the originator of that, but anyhow, fucking regardless of which way you look at it, we all know that became a pretty prominent thing afterwards,
right? With
Cody Durst and all them.
Oh, hell yeah!
So
Cody Durst,
but no, so Body Count was like an innovator, and they weren't even trying to be innovators; they were just trying to do something they loved, but had a difference to them. So, like I said, they played a few gigs and they catch a spot on the fucking Lollapalooza. It gets fucking big. Now, during the Lollapalooza Fest, what Ice-T did was he played half an Ice-T set, and then he played half a Body Count set.
Okay.
So people got to see both of them. Whenever they started, there was obviously Ice-T on fucking vocals, Ernie C on fucking guitar, the lead guitar. Their bassist was named Moose Man. Their drummer was Beatmaster V, and their rhythm guitarist was D-Rock. And they were all on the first album and the next couple, and that was fucking Body Count. And they came out with a fucking aggressive, like, gangster-style attitude that was a little bit different than what other people were doing. Now, Body Count's first official album appearance was actually on Ice-T's album Original Gangster, when he did the song Body Count, and he like basically broke it to the world on that album.
Okay.
So that's the first time people got to hear that, and then he ended up coming out, with the band. So like I said, 1992 comes out, their debut self-titled album, Body Count, got songs like Evil Dick, There Goes the Neighborhood, Bowels of the Devil, which is the song that I picked for the bumper music.
Right.
And, of course, it had the song Cop Killer on it.
Yeah.
This song, I mean, it was fucking... It
was
blew
a big
up.
Deal, yeah.
It caught the attention of this police fraternal organization, and it fueled a media frenzy. And this is also in an election year. So it was like fucking a perfect storm of all this shit happened. There was the president and the vice president giving press conferences that were basically singling out Ice-T over this. And all this shit that they kept saying was his rap lyrics. And Ice-T was so fucking pissed about that because he was like, these are rock songs. You're saying rap, and the media is saying rap because you're trying to create a frenzy.
Right.
He was like, but this is rock shit, And anyway, Ice-T ends up he pulls the song off the album. And, at first you're like, oh, that's kind of bitch shit. But the reason he did it, and I have respect for it, was he was like, fuck that. There was so much controversy over this fucking one song. There was 10 other songs on that album that I wanted people to hear. So if this was going to keep people from hearing those other ones, fuck that.
Interesting.
So that's why he and of course with the age of the internet, anytime you find it now, it's going to have Cop Killer on the streams. Of course,
yeah.
Right.
But back then there was a one that came out, and then they fucking reissued one without that song. In 1987, when Ice-T had put out his debut album, his first rap album, it was called Rampage. It was one of the first albums ever to get the explicit lyrics sticker. So he already knew what was going on with all, he had already dealt with it with that. So anyhow, Body Count comes out. That album was fucking big. It was their fucking first album. Then they get signed to Virgin Records. And in 1994, they put out their second album called Born Dead. It had songs like Drive By. It had the song Surviving the Game, which of course accompanied the movie that he did by the same name.
Right.
And it also had a badass cover of Jimi Hendrix doing Hey Joe. They did a Hendrix version of that cover.
Oh, cool.
Which appeared on the Stone Free tribute, which was a really big Jimi Hendrix tribute at that time that came out. Also on Virgin Records in 1997, they put out Violent Demise, The Last Days. The first two albums to me were really awesome. And Born Dead, whenever they put that out, the second album, Ice-T came out on the third album, the one I'm talking about now, Violent Demise, and the very first intro track is like him talking to an interviewer and how they're talking about how the last album wasn't that metal and this and that. So they're kind of like talking shit on it.
Huh.
So he must have thought it was a rushed album himself or whatever, To me, it's a fucking badass album, so I don't fucking get it, but it's also about the time and the place of where you're at when this shit comes out.
Right.
But to me, this album, Violent Demise, was kind of a step down from the other two. But,
I see.
They did have a song called Dr. K, which was about Dr. Kevorkian, which is fucking cool.
Yeah. Cool.
But, so they've got these three albums out. Now it's 1997, but all of a sudden, fucking, their drummer, Beatmaster V, he dies of leukemia.
Oh, no
They
shit.
were basically at a show, and he didn't tell nobody ever said nothing, and then fucking he couldn't play, and they had to cancel that, and he ended up dying I think 8 days later. So their drummer dies of leukemia. Their fucking bassist Moose Man, he goes back to the neighborhood where they had all grown up one time, and he's fucking hanging out over there, and a fucking member of a rival gang came by and did a drive-by, and he ended up being the only one that got shot, and he got shot in the back and killed. So their fucking bassist dies.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And then their rhythm guitarist, D-Rock, a year after that, he ends up dying of lymphoma.
God damn,
Holy
dude.
shit.
So, half their band's fucking gone now. And at the time, Ice-T, he was talking about, fuck this, I'm done with this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he said that there were so many people that were fans and other people that were like, no, man, you got to do this. People need this shit, And keep in mind now, Body Count kept their shit really politicized. There was a lot of political elements in their music, and that's just who they were, and that's what they were doing. That's what gave them their niche, in my opinion. But Ice-T always held true to this through all of this shit, so I always thought that was cool. And, he hears all these people telling him, oh, no, you got to do this, you got to do this. And the whole time he's doing Body Count, he always said that was, for him to give back to his homie Ernie C., the guitarist.
Right.
Man, this is what he wanted to do. This was my way to help him do it.
Right.
And it was cool because, coming into what I'm about to talk about now, Ice-T's already been doing Law and Order for a while. And so he's fucking playing a cop on TV. He's been in movies. He's been through all this shit. But at the same time, he's still doing this fucking metal band, going around playing fucking big shows, Whacking and fucking, a bunch of them. And it blows my mind because I watch that. I'm like, this guy obviously gets together at some point or whatever and rehearses this shit because he knows it all.
Right.
And so that's pretty badass that you've got it that much in you that even though you're a big star in this facet,
you're still playing
you're
in
still
your metal
doing
band.
that shit. Yeah. So anyhow, 2014 comes back around. And they finally come out with a new album. They put it out on Sumerian Records, and it's called Manslaughter. Now, when they fucking put this out, they obviously had to reinvent their band because they had lost so many. So they pick up Vincent Price Dennis on bass, and he had played for Steel Prophet, power metal band. So he was pretty big. So he came in. Vincent Price brought with him Ill Will Dorsey on drums, and that's their current drummer and bassist. Both of them are just fucking monsters. They needed another rhythm guitarist, so from Cuba they found Juan of the Dead Garcia.
Nice.
And he was a rhythm guitarist who had played in Agent Steel and Evil Dead.
Fuck yeah.
So that was awesome. So he's got all these guys on this new album. He's coming out on Sumerian. They also they're working with producer Will Putney, who, if you don't know who that is, he's the guitarist for Fit for an Autopsy.
Okay.
So now they're working with him. He knows the sound they're going for. He's got the fucking knowledge and the know-how. And if you listen to these albums from 2014 to the current ones, it's like way tighter and way heavier than all the other stuff.
Interesting.
But also that just might be a natural progression. But it sounds fucking really, really good. Jamie Josta also did fucking guest vocals on a track on Manslaughter, so that's really big for back then. 2017 comes along. Century Media picks them up. Century Media's dropped their last two albums. In 2017, they dropped Bloodlust. This album had guest vocals. They had Dave Mustaine on there. They had fucking Max Cavalera.
Nice.
They did Black Hoodie, which was on that album, which actually... It was nominated for a Grammy. It didn't win. Mastodon ended up winning, but it did get nominated for a Grammy. And they did a video for All Love Is Lost, which Max Cavalera did guest vocals on that song. But in that video, Kelly Giddish, who's Ice-T's co-star on Law & Order, she was in the video and did it with him.
Oh, cool.
So that was pretty cool. They also do the cover of Slayer, which, for whatever reason, something about copyrights, it's called Raining in Blood. It's the name of the cover, but it's badass. To me, it's the best cover of Rain and Blood I've ever heard. It's Body Counts.
It's really
wow.
good.
And then they usually do post-mortem after it. Like, it's like a two-piece they do.
Cool.
So in 2020, they put out their most recent one, the last one they put out. Body Count put out Carnivore, also on Century Media. This had some badass guest vocals. They brought back Jamie Josta, Riley Gale from Power Trip, who's now R.I.P.
Yeah.
He was on there. Dave Lombardo did drums on an updated version of the song Colors.
Nice.
So that's badass. And then Jello Biafra of Dead Kennedys fame, he did a spoken word part on one of the songs. They also did a cover of Motorhead's Ace of Spades.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, fucking...
Wow.
That's Body Count.
Yeah, I know shit about him, so that's cool. Dude.
They had done a lot, and they were a band that... When I first got their tape, and this is pretty funny, too, my buddy who was a fucking thief, like there ain't no other way to put it, like this motherfucker stole some shit. His dad, I remember when he was growing up in Mattoon, like his dad would have like 3 big screen TVs he walked out of Walmart. I don't even know how you do that.
Jesus Christ.
That's unbelievable.
So they're just some thieving
people
motherfuckers.
just walk between the raindrops.
Yeah, for
man.
sure. But one of the kids that I hung out with, one of their, it was also a thief, but he stole me the fucking Body Count fucking tape from like, Walmart or Kmart back then.
Right.
And that was how I got it in the first place.
Oh,
so I always
nice.
remembered that. And Body Count, I think the problem with them was they gained such a big thing, A, because you have a rapper and it's the black dudes.
Right.
And then you do Cop Killer, which is a controversial song.
Right.
So you have all this hype over this first album. So then whenever you come out with everything else, people kind of like, you kind of put it to the wayside,
Right.
And I think that by the time they put out like their third and fourth album, I think I was even under the impression that I was like, oh, damn, they're still doing shit? You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And it wasn't until, like I said, they came out with Manslaughter and that I really got back into them. And I was like, okay, this shit's fucking good,
Huh.
And they never really swayed their style. So, fuck yeah, go jam some Body Count. If it's a band you remember from back in the day you haven't heard about, go check
Give 'em
out
a
some new
chance,
shit.
Fuck yeah. Chris, speaking of giving it a chance, you got a lost classic for us tonight?
For me, I just came across my head the other day and I listened to it a few times. The fucking Donnie Brooks fucking Lions in This Game from fucking New York hardcore fucking just album. It's just a badass album to me. It's fucking,
yeah,
you should
man.
just check it out.
I love the New York inspired. I'm not as big a hardcore fan as the bands that were inspired by them, like Propane,
Right.
Crumbsuckers, stuff like that, which is like cool because it's more metal than hardcore. But there was that crossover, and you got a lot of that in New York City, Cro-Mags and a lot of shit, which we've, of course, talked about. So, very, very cool. Joey, what about you, man? What you been listening to?
Listened to a lot of fucking Body Count because I was doing I listened to the whole discography and shit. I've also been jamming. Alex has given me a fucking Crotch Ripper promo for their album that's finally coming out, the new
Nice.
Crotch Ripper full length. So I've had that playing, and then in the car now, I just got it today. But my buddy out in Denver, who's a guitarist for Nephrectomy, but he also does a band called Jin Ghoul, and I just got that and fucking put it in the car before we got here. Fucking killer.
Cool, man. Yeah, any of this stuff, man, you ever want to send me an MP3 and say, hey, dude, bumper music stuff,
Yeah.
I'm loving it. So, very, very cool. Chris, was there anything else you've been listening to that you wanted to mention?
Not offhand, like I said. I just randomly listen to shit, dude.
Yeah, that's cool. I've been jamming that Corpse Grinder since it came out on Friday. I really liked it. I like all the tracks. It's really good. A lot of death metal, but a little bit of thrash here and there. Also went down the rabbit hole with Dissection. I heard about them when I listened to an interview with the band Schizophrenia that I've been listening to. And one of them mentioned he was heavily influenced by Dissection, so I went and checked it out. And it's considered black metal, which typically I wouldn't go for. I don't typically like it. It's got a lot of keyboards in it. Not really my thing. But these guys are badass, no keyboards, really good musically. The vocals are not, in my mind, what I think of when I think of black metal. So I really dig them, Dissection. And that is a crazy-ass story about that band. I was talking to you guys in the
dude,
pre-show
yeah,
meeting.
Oh yeah.
Wow. The singer, Jan Nadveit, he was convicted of murdering a dude in 1997, and he did 10 years in a Swedish prison for it. After he gets out, he continues the band, goes on tour, puts out a couple albums, then kills himself in 2006. And there's a bunch of occult shit and some satanic writings in his room. So that would definitely be a good bonus episode,
yeah.
man.
It's
That
fucking
is a
nutty as
crazy
shit.
fucking story. So, yeah, digging on Dissection. Good stuff. Joey, you got some Goremonger stuff coming up. What you want to mention any of that? Some shows and
I do. I don't know. I got some shit happening. I just put out the Disfiguring the Narrative full length, so that's still kind of new. So go ahead and order that from me. I'm also started working on my Horrorflix 3 album. So the people that like my shit about the horror movies, I'm doing another one of those.
fuck yeah, horror type bomb.
Horror type. But yeah, I did get 2 shows that are coming up, and one of them is May 7th and 8th, and that's my buddy Squatch's Cannibal Cookout.
Right around your birthday,
Yeah,
too. Perfect.
Which we went to that last year. I played that. That was a fucking blast. Showback was with me. Fucking, it was a good time. So looking forward to that. And then CDF, I think, is Chicago Domination Fest. I think it's like July 28th through the 30th. But anyhow, leading up to that, some of the Texas bands are playing a fucking tour on the way up to that. And I'm jumping on one of the shows in Keokuk, Iowa.
Oh, cool.
So that's going to be fucking badass. A bunch of Texas fucking brutal bands. And
Yeah.
Me and I think Pit Lord's on there, and also somebody else, another pretty fucking badass band from around here. So all around going to be a good show.
Hell yeah, man. Very, very cool. Well, I got the horns next week, and I'm going to be doing another Danish band, thrash metal band named Killing. I really dig those guys. I did an interview with their drummer, Jesper Skousen, and I'll have a clip of that next week with the piece I do on them, and then the full interview will come out the day after the episode comes out, just like we've been doing, and I got video of it, and that'll be on our YouTube channel. So, Also, I've got a segment that we've recently recorded of us doing a Mayhem segment with a killer cage match, and that's going to be coming out on YouTube. Trying for that this weekend. So,
and if you're a listener and you haven't looked at the fucking video,
there's quite a few of them on there.
The
man.
fake commercials one we did.
Oh God,
there's one of our
that's
fake
really
commercials, the serial car rental.
Right.
That hasn't been fucking. We haven't put that in a show
That's
yet.
right.
So that's where you can go listen to it beforehand.
Yeah, because you could see us recording the parts because we do them in pieces, and then you hear the finished with the music and the sound effects and stuff.
So you can go listen to that one right now.
That's right, on that YouTube channel. So, all right, I am also going to be doing an interview with one of the guys. I don't know which one yet, from the band Schizophrenia on Sunday. Those guys are from Belgium. They just came out with a new album. Absolutely amazing. Looking forward to doing that, and they're going to be a feature here coming up when I do one.
I got to work, so I can't be here for that horse shit. I'm pissed.
Yeah,
but
I know.
I'm not going to fucking say what it is, but I do have an interview.
You got a really good one you're going to be doing. Yeah. So, yeah, that'll be great. Also, we're going to have Bonesaw and Josh in here from the death metal band Murder Complex.
Yeah.
That's cool. Some local guys here. They're going to come in the studio. Yeah, Bonesaw's been here a couple different times. Josh is excited about coming in, so that's cool. They got a new album coming out on April 1st, and so I thought, well, fuck, we got to get him in here. So we got our April Fool's Day episode, Chris, on the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monsters. Yeah. That's going to be fun. That's our April Fool's episode. You heard it here first. So Bonesaw and Josh from Murder Complex will be here in the studio doing some Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monsters for our special silly April Fool's episode. But there is legitimately a Church of the Flying.
Oh, yeah, they're 100%
Spaghetti Monsters. I got the books to prove it. So.
Pastafarians, man.
That's right, Pastafarians. It's going to be great. All right, the 666 Club. Talk about great, Joey. They can sign up for that, help support what we're doing.
Hell yeah.
Patreon.com/MurderMetalMayhem. They get some cool perks.
Get the fucking merch, fucking
10% off the merch.
You get fucking the interviews and the fucking episodes a day earlier.
Manson families out there that nobody could hear unless they're a member. Can hear.
That's a Patreon only
That's
right now.
That's hippie fuck bus discussion. That's good stuff. So
you should sign. It's only $3 a month.
Yeah,
it's a Patreon. Support what we're doing.
Right. So thanks to those that are Patreon supporters, and if you're not, check the episode description and join that 666 Club for just $3 a month. All right, we have done plenty of metal tonight. So, Chris, what the fuck do we need to do?
Let's get our mayhem on.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks for calling Unruh Gun Safety Training. Can I help you?
So my kid, he got my pistol, he shot a hole in the floor and hit a water main. I need to put him through the class. Can you tell me a little more about your situation you got going on over there?
Yeah, it's a bit loud in here. Sorry about that. Our 40-hour gun safety course teaches you all the basics. But our advanced course, which is what I recommend, will teach your son some special urban warfare training.
Wait, what you talking about? Urban warfare? I'm just trying to get lessons for the gun.
Yep, you'll be able to take down at least 20 civilians in 5 minutes with an AR-15 or AK-47. Double taps to the head every time. Graduates get a Glock and a pallet of ammo.
Y'all are just fucked up. I'm gonna call somebody else. Fucking Jesus.
Wow. Mrs. Tex on that Unruh gun safety commercial we did. That was a lot of fun. Chris, you were the caller there.
Yeah.
That was good stuff, man. That was good stuff. Little Unruh gun safety. We did that a couple weeks ago here.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
That was awesome.
Tex and Mrs. Tex contributing, and that was great. Her New Jersey accent was funny. So, all right. And before that, Body Count, the song Bowels of the Devil. Good job, Joey, as always.
Hell yeah.
Love learning something about a band I didn't know anything about. So that's
yeah.
awesome. All right, now I told you we're in Mayhem, and I haven't had a Mayhem story in a worthy, like a longer story. This isn't too crazy long, but, you know, this is a good one from my past that I thought was fun to bring up, one I hadn't talked about before. All right, well, back I would say, you know, I'm like 19, 20 years old, maybe 21, somewhere in there. There was this dude that used to hang out. We used to hang out at this bowling alley. I wasn't real proud of it, you know, just hang out in this pool hall of a bowling alley. We used to meet there and hang out. And, you know, just talking shit, you know, just being fools. And anyway, this one dude that used to come down there, he was from Danbury, so he was from a different town than us. The bowling alley was, I think, in Danbury. But anyway, he comes down there and he was just like always like all like amped up and like, hey man, what's up? You know, like really like in your face and like, you know, you're just like blazed or, you know, buzzed up
like,
from
dude,
drinking.
Calm down, man.
Not wanting to fucking deal with this dude, you know.
That's like Chris's brother Adam.
So every time he showed up, everybody's like, oh my God, you know. So one night he comes down there, and one of the guys that I used to play in my first band with, he wasn't there. He usually was there. He was not there. So anyway, this pain in the ass guy comes down, and he's like, hey, man, you guys know anybody looking to buy or looking to sell a 350 big block, you know? And none of my friends but one knew a fucking thing about cars. I mean, just absolutely nothing. Like, he was talking Chinese. I didn't know what he was talking about other than I knew a big block was an engine, but that was where it stopped. Okay?
Right.
So we're all just like, no, we don't know of anybody. So I was like, you know what? I think I might know somebody. So I thought about the one dude that wasn't there because I think that's what it was. He had to go to work early the next morning.
Right.
So that's why he wasn't hanging out with us. He was trying to go to bed early. Smart thing, right?
Yeah.
Amazing with the group of people I hung out with that somebody had the wherewithal to do that. So anyway, this pain in the ass guy comes down. They're about the 350 big block, and we're just like, no. And I'm like, hang on a second. I said, I know somebody. So I wrote down this dude's name and his phone number. I said, here's a guy he's got one for sale. And he's selling it really cheap, I told him. But I said, he's got somebody coming tomorrow early to look at it. So if I were you, I would call him at like 6:30
in the morning
and make sure that you get a hold of him. But I said, but listen, what he's going to tell you is that it's already sold. But I'm telling you, the guy hasn't looked at it yet. So you need to be persistent about this. Okay? So anyway, the next day, of course, this is before cell phones. I didn't hear about this till later in the day. He gets a call at 6 a.m. His mom, because he's still living at his parents' house, this guy. His mom wakes him up at 6 a.m. I think he had like another hour to sleep before he had to get up and go to work. Yeah. So he's fucking jacked off that he gets up early. His mom's fucking pissed that she got up at 6 o'clock in the morning. She's like, you got a friend on the phone. It's very urgent, you know. So he's like, what the hell? Because he said something about a 350 big block. I don't know what he's talking about. So he's just thinking, like, as he's walking to the phone, like, what? So he answers the phone and he's like, hey, what's up, man? You know, I heard you're selling a 350 big block, man. Got somebody coming to look at it. I can be there in 10 minutes, you know. And he's like, what? He's like, I'll be there in 5. You know, he's like, no, wait. What are you talking about? He's like, I heard you got a 3. You know, he's like, I don't have it. No, I don't have an engine to sell. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, that's exactly what he said you would say. And he's like, what do you mean that's exactly what he said? Who's he? Pete. Pete told me to call you. And he's just like, you fucking asshole, man. What the fuck? So then it's like coming into fucking, crystal clear of what had just happened to him.
Right.
So now he's got to get off the fucking phone because he's like literally going to come over there, because I gave him the address too. So I don't remember. I don't think he actually came over. I think he finally convinced them that he really didn't have it, that Pete was just a douchebag and playing a joke on them all. So anyway, 350 big block.
That's hilarious.
Good one.
That reminded me, I'm going to tell a quick Mayhem now, too, because that reminded me of this.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
I don't know why that reminded me of this, but I went up and played a show in Rockford. And for people that fucking listen to our podcast, they don't know, Rockford's like one of our more scummy ghetto cities in Illinois.
It is, a couple hours north.
Right. I mean, it's got nice spots, of course, but for a lot of it, it's fucking...
There's some rough fucking neighborhoods, dude.
Big time.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm in one of them rough neighborhoods at this time. I go up to Rockford, and I used to play this fucking place called the Disaster House.
Disaster House, yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
Chris been there. Fucking, it was basically like a punk rock house, and a bunch of squatters and fucking graffiti on the walls, and motherfuckers welding out back.
This is just fucking...
It was crazy shit. But anyway, so I played a show up there one time and fucking, I don't know, I had obviously left my phone or fucking set it down or, you know what I'm saying? I fucking lost it. And I was like, oh, motherfucker. So whenever I got back home, I fucking got a new phone, but I kept the same number. And all of a sudden, I'm getting hit up by fucking motherfuckers wanting to buy drugs off me. Because obviously whoever had got my old phone was using it to fucking sell drugs with.
Oh, shit.
And so I had this one, I kept fucking getting hit with this shit. And, at first I told a couple people, I'm like, yo, this is fucking the actual owner of that phone, and whatever.
That, yeah.
But then this one dude hits me up though, and he was like, man, if I make it over there, can you give me 2 for $3? And I was like, oh man, I'm over this.
Wow.
I said, if you can get here in an hour, I'll give you fucking 3 for $5 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I will hook you the fuck up. I don't even know what the hell he's talking about.
Right.
And he was like, oh, fuck yeah. He's like, yeah, man, I'll be over. And then he hits me up like fucking a half hour later. He's like, man, I'm out here, but I don't know where you're at. I'm like, bro, I'm at my brother's house. You're supposed to meet me over here.
Oh, shit.
And for like fucking 6 hours, I had this fucking hype motherfucker
God, running around.
And then eventually he fucking messaged me. He was like, look, motherfucker, this shit ain't funny. I don't know who you are. You think you're fucking playing games? And I fucking hit him. I was like, motherfucker, it ain't funny. Your scumbag ass friend stole my phone and was using, and it was just, I had this fucking, this drug addict fucking on 10, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
He kept thinking I was going to hook him up with some fucking badass deals.
Right. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Hell yeah, some good mayhem to be had, that's for sure. We talked about the new Dahmer mask here, Chris, and the number 8 in our studio. We've got quite the collection.
And mask number 2 from the fucking...
Yeah, number 2 mask out of 40. He makes 40 from the first mold, so we got the second mask he made, so that's awesome. And it's up on a wall mount right next to our other masks on that wall, Joey. We got some good ones over there.
Yeah, on that wall we got Dahmer, Holmes, Geen, Zombie Geen, and then fucking Richard Ramirez.
Yeah.
But they're facing off against fucking Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, and Albert Fish.
Yeah, Gacy, of course, in the pogo.
And just for fun, on the other side of the studio, we got Dominus, the fucking Venom mask.
Yeah, the black metal Venom mask. Yeah. So we've got 8 of them, and the Venom mask is, of course, in an inverted cross stand, which makes it even nicer.
Yeah, it does.
Right next to our exorcism kit that we bought from Christopher St. Booth. So we got some good stuff here at Horns High. We're going to be doing a little spring cleaning coming up, and we're going to redo a video, a little tour. Chris, we're going to take them around the studio and show them.
Change things around.
Yeah, change it up. We got some extra stuff we haven't even hung up yet, so we're going to do some cleaning and rearranging. is part of the cleaning going to be to do anything with the cobwebs, or are we leaving that? Because it does look cool.
It does look cool, but I've cleared them a couple times.
Okay.
Not fully, but they
Right.
start getting really intrusive in my area.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
And I'm not a big fan of spiders to begin with, so the fact of one of them falling on, they're not even big spiders.
I don't see any problem with monitoring it.
No,
to
so
see, but
like I
it
said,
is cool.
I've
though.
wiped basically up to the Murder Metal Mayhem sign.
Yeah,
Then
I
I'll
can
leave
see
the
him
rest.
falling over the banner now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's like a legit spider web over our banner.
It
looks kind of cool.
I think it was like at the end of summer last year or whatever. I went fucking super hard with the fucking saw over here and just fucking started wiping all the fucking.
Yeah, I remember that.
And there were so many spiders falling. There was
Oh
all
my God.
over the ground, trying to get away. And shit.
Oh, wow. So we got our new Dahmer mask. Very, very cool. SickRickMasks.com. All right, Chris, killer cage match. We got 75 killers that we came up with, 75 objects for them to fight with, a list of 15 variables, and we have our listeners pick random numbers to contribute. So,
Yeah, once again,
Who do we
Rebecca
got?
Boomsock, Michael Bain, and Jack Me Off.
fuck yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you guys for contributing. We do have a good one tonight. The matchup is interesting, Joey. Who do we got?
Yeah, we're gonna go down to the fucking southeast coast to
Oh, yeah.
Florida.
95.
And Eileen Warnos is gonna fucking come into the ring ready to fuck him dude up.
Hell yeah.
And that dude that she gets to fight against is from the Southwest. And
Yep.
he's AKA Pliers Lawrence Bittaker, one
Brutal.
of the fucking
Toolbox.
killers.
Yeah, one of the two toolbox killers, probably the more brutal of the two for
We have
sure.
Pliers.
For a reason.
We have Pliers in our studio in fucking
That's right.
representation of Bittaker.
Yeah, I bought everybody a nice set of needle nose pliers
hell
and in solidarity with old pliers. So.
Old pliers.
All right, this should be a very interesting one tonight. And Chris, we always have two objects for them. What do we got in the cage tonight?
They got a claw hammer that just comes out of a toolbox, man.
Brutal. Yeah.
And you got a gun that shoots ghost pepper sauce.
Ooh.
So
That could
get that in
ugly.
the eyes. That'll fuck you up, dude.
And the variable tonight, Chris, is what?
Fucking Bridget the midget.
Hell yeah.
What the fuck?
Bridget the midget in there with them. I'm not sure what she's going to do, but Chris, what do you think here? I mean, an interesting matchup.
I don't know, man. This is tough.
Oh, now you're not drinking. Now you can't think of a
I
case.
know, right? Exactly.
Yeah, this is the first podcast in quite some time I could think of that you are drinking water over
This is
there.
the first one I've ever.
It is the first one, and I checked to make sure it wasn't grain alcohol or vodka, and it's water.
Fucking vodka, man.
So yeah, Chris is clear-headed and apparently not having any ideas so far in the Killer Cage match, but it's an interesting one,
It
Chris,
is
because
fucking- I feel
physically
like-
these two are pretty even up. I would
Yeah, I
think.
mean, I feel like for some reason, I feel like Eileen Warnos fucking get it over on Bittaker. Like,
You think
she's just
so?
a mean horse, dude.
She is.
Like,
Who's
she
going
gets
to be
all-
the first one to get that claw hammer?
Oh,
I
dude,
think.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like Bittaker's got it in his toolbox, so he just has it on him already. So he's gonna swing that at her, but I don't know. I think Eileen takes it, dude.
Yeah. Do you think she's going to get the ghost pepper sauce, Joey? I mean, how's this going to go down, man?
The way I see this going down is, I mean, it's pretty obvious to me that fucking they're both going to go for their own weapons, and Warnos is going to go for the fucking gun.
'cause
It
it's a
shoots
gun.
ghost pepper sauce, but it's a gun, and that's what she did her crimes with.
That's right.
And fucking Bittaker, he's fucking stoked on that because he goes and
Oh,
grabs
yeah.
that claw hammer. So it is a pretty fucking
Next
evenly.
best thing to a pair of pliers.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking matched up with the two of them. But Pliers Bittaker, he grabs that fucking hammer, fucking turns around and fucking bashes fucking Warnos right in her goddamn mouth, breaks all of her fucking teeth out of her head.
Oh, damn.
She just fucking laughs at him and says, "Motherfucker, my teeth were fucked up to begin with. You just did me a favor." She said, "You stupid ass motherfucker." And then she fucking gestures over to Bridget the midget, who fucking makes a little bit of attention. Bittaker looks around. He gets caught looking at her because he's kind of confused because he thinks she might be an underage girl.
Right.
And he's pretty stoked on that.
Right.
So So fucking while he's doing that, she fucking reaches over fucking with that gun with the ghost pepper sauce. He turns his back to her, or he fucking turns back around to Warnos. She fucking blasts him right in the fucking eyes with that fucking ghost pepper sauce.
Yeah.
He's fucking blind and stumbling around. She fucking grabs the fucking hammer out of his hand. She fucking calls Bridget the Midget over and tells her to get down behind his fucking legs. She fucking gets down and she fucking bashes her with the hammer, and she falls over Bridget the Midget joke style. And Warnos just fucking jumps on him and kills him because he's a fucking man.
Wow.
God
Warnos
damn.
wins.
Yeah, I don't know if I can add to that because that's pretty good. But
God damn.
I do think that after this is all over, though, that Bridget the Midget's eating her pussy.
Yeah.
yeah.
She ain't even got to fucking bend down.
Right, that's right. So, all right, well, very good. Our listeners love some killer cage match, and they're always fun to do.
I bet that fucking Warnos, being such a big prostitute, could have put Bridget the Midget in
Inside.
her vagina.
Yeah, probably would have put her to work too.
Oh, God.
Now, we've been talking about this YouTube channel we got. You need to subscribe to it. Go there to YouTube and search Murder Metal Mayhem. You'll find it. And I also have a link to it in the episode description. But we got videos coming out, a lot of interviews, clips from the show, some video of Joey playing Goremonger. First time ever we had a band here.
If you don't go watch that video right now, you're a fucking pussy.
That's right. That's right. So go to that YouTube channel and subscribe. Doesn't cost you a damn thing, and you can get more cool content and actually see us doing the show and doing the fake commercials and
So much good
all the
shit
craziness, man. All right, well, we have done plenty of fucking mayhem tonight, so boys, I think it's time to hit the fucking outro.
Lost your mind, take me with you. I'll say the feast off the wicked too. Red flag, you're waving high. Red flag. Tell me you're
Yeah, those guys are badass, man.
Yeah.
Thrash from Chicago, band called Misfire, and the song Red Flag. I stumbled on it on Facebook, and I was like, holy crap, man, really liked it, thought I wanted to play it. I reached out to see if they want to come on the show. I haven't heard back yet, so hopefully
be cool.
somebody up there in Chicago, get a hold of fucking Misfire. Tell them to get a hold of us. New album coming April 1st, and really good. If that's what it's going to sound like, I'm definitely digging on that. All right, the music tonight, the bumper music, Misfire, Corpse Grinder, and Body Count. Joey, our metal segment music is by who?
Cry6.
Fuck yeah. Chris, Murder Metal Mayhem intro.
Low 12.
Hell yeah. Thanks again to Rebecca Boomsock for sponsoring the podcast this month. We really appreciate it. And check that episode description for a link to her Facebook page and to NASCAR legend Dick Trickle's Memorial Project. So her dad was the crew chief for Dick Trickle. That's pretty impressive pedigree there. So Rebecca,
Definitely.
Thank you very, very much.
If you're a listener and fucking, want us to sponsor you, it's not very much. If you
No,
got,
20
if you got
bucks
a
a month,
band,
man.
if you do some art, if
Yeah.
whatever, just fucking
Tattoos, whatever, man. Reach out, Pete at murdermetalmayhem.com, or go on our Facebook page and send a message that way. Either way, we'll get it. All right, I got the horns. Next time I'm going to feature the Danish thrash band Killing. I really dig those guys. I'll have a piece of that interview I did with their drummer, Jesper. He was a great dude.
Hell yeah.
Plus, I'll be releasing the entire interview the day after the episode comes out and a video of it on our YouTube channel. So lots of content coming out almost on, every week. We're doing these like threefers, which is pretty impressive.
3 for madness.
That's right. 3 for madness. Nice. Thank you to everybody out there listening. We are just shy of 500,000 total listens to the podcast.
Hopefully this one pushes us over.
Yeah, I mean, this episode should do it, Chris. We
Oh, yeah,
should
dude.
hit the
Half a
500,000
million.
mark So thank you guys. Seriously, we fucking appreciate it. And, you know, if you want to send in some Pop-Tarts, you know, that would be nice. We'd appreciate that too.
Pop-Tarts are the shit.
Murder Metal Mayhem, P.O. Box 554, Hayworth, Illinois, 61745. Send some Pop-Tarts.
Do it.
Any kind, even the Clover Valley ones, Joey. We'll eat that shit.
I'm down.
Doesn't matter. All right. Well, Chris, we want to, read a few comments here. We always get some good ones. What's that first one?
First one we got Paul Evans says, I listen to you guys in Boston and love it. You guys are fucking hilarious, but I seem to learn a lot checking you guys out. My favorite episode is the Toolbox Killers.
Hell yeah. A lot of people like that one.
Yeah, people were stoked.
That means our listeners are pretty fucking sadistic and brutal, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Liking that shit.
Definitely.
Joey, what about the next one?
Donna Richardson, 56, said, my boyfriend and I have been listening since you started doing the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Congrats on hitting 500,000 listens because we know you're going to hit that milestone anytime. Yes, we are.
Fuck yeah. Thanks, Donna. And you and your boyfriend listening since the beginning, Chris, since up in the bedroom with fucking Son of Sam barking in the distance. So thank you, Donna. All right. Angel Slayer 666. You got to love that one. Commented, hey, boys, I'm from Winnipeg and love your show. I started listening when you did that Clifford Olson episode. Votov fucking rules. That's awesome. Yeah, they do. They're a kick-ass.
Kick-ass man.
And so thank you, Angel Slayer 666. Joey or Chris, what about the last one, man?
We got Carlos Wilkins 77 says this podcast blows all the rest away. I listen every week on my way to work in Oakland. It's a shithole, and listening to you guys makes it bearable.
Wow.
All right. Cool.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Carlos, you're working in a shithole or traveling through a shithole to get to work. But either way, nice to know, Joey, that we're, giving somebody something to listen to, making them laugh, bringing a smile to their face when they hear the stupidity.
Rip all those Oakland Raiders stickers off everything you got and replace them with Murder Metal Mayhem.
You could check out murdermetalmayhem.com to listen to all our past episodes. And pretty soon, we're going to be rolling out a brand new website with all sorts of cool shit on it, a web store. So be prepared for that. We'll tell you when that happens, but that should be in April. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to that YouTube channel. You definitely want to do that. We got all this cool content out there already. The Brutal Vocal Academy, Chris, that's worth the price of admission to go fucking listen to my grandson scream his ass off.
That shit was fucking great.
At your fucking place, the old Shawback Nation place, with him screaming, and we were laughing, and that was just funny.
Awesome.
All right, and you could check us out on pretty much every platform that's out there, so leave comments, rate the show if you can, do whatever to help spread the word. We appreciate that. And those of you that want to support the show to join the 666 Club, go to patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem, $3 a month, and that's it. Also, I do have some listeners that like to buy my books, and you could do that at creationofchaos.com. That will also be a revamped website, which will be petealtieri.com, and you can buy all the books there. So pretty soon, we're rolling out a Murder Metal Mayhem and my writing be two different websites with a web store, and you can order shit like legit, and it should help hopefully get the word out there more. A little more professional look.
Fucking right.
Also, I've got an audio book for the last book I did, Creation of Chaos 3, on Audible, iTunes, and Amazon, so check the links in the episode description. All right, we can't let him go without hearing a karaoke song, a little blast from my karaoke past that fits the murder feature tonight, so crank this one up. And until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And keep your fist gripping your gun firmly.
There I was completely wasting, out of work and down. All inside it's so frustrating as I drift from town to town. Feel as though nobody cares if I live or die. So I might as well begin to put some action in my life. Fuck yeah! Breaking the law, breaking the law. 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 So much for the golden future, I can't even start. I've had every promise broken, there's anger in my heart. You don't know what it's like, you don't have a fucking clue. If you did, you'd find yourself doing the same things too, yeah! Breaking the law, breaking the law. 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 You don't know what it's like. Breaking the law, breaking the law. 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 Breaking the law, breaking the law.